delete my lessons out that phone.
not to get too sidetracked, especially
Just
when we
saying.
having longer lessons. I mean, people like just go live because mine don't be saved. When it's like an hour plus, it don't be saved.
Yeah, it just be spiritual demons saying that's how I try to
Kind
start the word.
of
Can you read Isaiah 13 again?
verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
You got to. You want me to read
Did you want an NLT or did you want an KJV? All right, I got it. So this Isaiah 13 and 2, it says, lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand, that they might go into the gates of the nobles.
And that's the point I wanted to get into, like you were saying with that shake the hand, man, because that's basically what we're doing. Like I said, it's going into the the prophets, right, the elect, so on and so forth, right. But that shaking of the hand, right, that's that we speaking against Babylon, right. But I'm gonna read this quick precept, Isaiah 19 and 16, right. It says, "In that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, which he shaketh over it," man. So that shaking that hand, man, these people are going to fear Yahweh Shema Shai, and that's what we coming to tell them, man. We basically we telling them,
telling
you know
them
what I'm
all.
saying?
I know what's going on.
You know what I mean? It's like, like if you had a big brother, you know what I'm saying, somebody picking on you that ain't showing you, like, all right, my big brother coming, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of how we doing, we at the lowest state here, but we understand, you know what I'm saying, Yahweh Shai Shai, he coming at the end of the day to destroy these people, man, to put us back where we were supposed to be.
Kind of most likely be judging America, judging Esau, right? Egypt, just another word for America as well, right? Like I said, spiritual Solomon, Egypt, right? Revelation, the 11th chapter.
You got another point?
No, you got
Okay, I got this is definition like the phrase or whatnot, meaning telling off, right? As we telling them off, right? It says means to decrease gradually its intensity, quantity, or strength, eventually fading away or becoming smaller and weaker. So that's what we do. We telling them off because the more we prophesy down for all this place, because you got that we speaking this into existence, man. We speaking this the destruction of Babylon into existence. We got faith in what we're saying that Yahweh is going to come destroy this place. And the more and more the truth get out, the weaker and weaker this place gets, man. Right? Because now their tactics, that serpent ways is being exposed. So now we're wise as serpent horns as dove. Right? Now we're able to maneuver. Now Satan devices can't get us. Right? Now Jake ain't. Now Esau controlled Jake by controlling his mind, controlling him, putting all these playing mind games with, for lack of a better word, putting all these things in front of their face that they knew that the flesh would love and go into, fall into, right, fall in love with. Or now we're telling them off, we're exposing them, or we're exposing them from being the wicked, we expose them in all these ways. So now they're getting weaker and weaker, right? But that was just
So it's Isaiah 13, verse 3. You got it, Jeremiah. So it says, I have commended my sanctified ones, talking about who? The prophets, right? The elect. Right, he says,
Let me go ahead and get that precept.
You can.
So like the brother was saying, those sanctified ones are those are the prophets, right? So
but you can break it down.
For an example, right? This is Jeremiah. We know for a fact Jeremiah was one of the prophets of Yahweh Shema Shai, right? So this is Jeremiah 1, and I'll start at verse 4, right? And the title of it, right, on this one, it says the prophet's call, right? It says, then the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations, right? So this is Yahweh Shema Shai sanctifying who? A prophet, right? In this case being Jeremiah. So you can start from the top of
verse 3.
Yeah.
So it says, I have commended my sanctified ones.
So those sanctified ones are the prophets, right? The ones that you see here, the ones from back then, so on and so forth, right?
It says, I have also called my mighty ones from my anger. Who they're talking about?
The angels.
The angels, So it says,
Michael the archangel coming.
Yeah, he come rain, yeah. He said, even them that rejoice in my highness, verse 4, the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people.
So that the noise of multitude in the mountains, because these are these high inferior, like Russia, China, these people, these inferior kingdoms that set upon on the earth, right? One of these mountains in front of these high governments, these take a word looking for. But they had good, for lack of a better word. It said like of a great people, because these people have great armies, right? And these great people really referring to those missile things as much as they have, right? Those missiles, you know, those Khan, you know, which was later you can continue reading on, it'll bring it out.
Khan. So this Isaiah 13:4, he said, the Lord of the multitude of the mountains, like as a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord Yahweh of hosts mustered the host of the battle. Right?
Just a real quick point. How it says the Lord of hosts was the Lord of armies. You know what I'm saying? The Lord of armies.
And what's the Lord a God of? God of war, right? Speaks about it in Hosea, what chapter is it? Oh, not Hosea, Exodus 15:3, Exodus 15:3, right? But you know, just okay, kind. And just how I just say, how you pronounce it? A tumultuous noise of the kingdoms and nations got together. You know, just backing up the brothers going into World War III, right? Just like Revelation 11, 14.
Joel chapter 3.
Yeah, I was gonna go to Joel 3 and Zephaniah 3 and 8.
Time, but you know, just going to Revelation 11 chapter verse 14, I say the second will come to pass and the third will come quickly, right? Just roughly paraphrase, right? This verse is going into World War III, right? And it's going to be take place another Salaki Khan, but you know, there's going to take place another word for the Armageddon, right? Is World War III. That's what I'm trying to say. So
which is really Armageddon one.
I'm gonna bring out a quick piece of. Can somebody grab Zephaniah 3 and 8?
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, you already got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Read that. Another quick point of fact before you read that. When he says, as we said, those mountains is referring to those kingdoms, those high ages with those great armies, and those ultimately those great people referring to those missiles. And that's why the Most High is gathering those ones together that's going to fight. Because Isaiah 1:9, it tells you that this not going to, the old wars are fought with swords and, you know, the noise and clanging of noise, stabbing, people getting your garment full of blood. But this war is going to be a nuclear war, right? So this war is going to be a nuclear war where this place is going to be destroyed with all of them going to be dropping nukes. So after this war, this is the last war. You know, the war to end all wars. They thought World War II was supposed to be the war to end all wars, right? It's not. You know, World War III is the war to end all wars. After this war, you know, ultimately when you understand Yahweh Shah, they're gonna fight each other, and then you know after they fight each other, Yahweh Shah gonna crack this guy, and you know they're gonna turn to him to fight him, you know, and like I say, the Lord of the host of mustard, he bringing them all together. You know, ultimately ultimately in the end they're gonna fight Yahweh Shah, as I mentioned, but America's gonna be that enemy effort. You know, that's why he has those ICBM missiles, intercontinental ballistic missiles, right? Because they're going to be shot from far. You know, they're going to be shot from far. And the point, watching Elder Apostle Romlau breaking this down, a point that, you know, faith boosters, as we would say, right? The Most High allowed them to create these missiles. You got to think these interballistic missiles, you know, they're able to travel up to 6,000 miles. Well, when you look up the distance from Russia to America, it's like 5,000 miles, man. So you see how he allowed them to create these things just the way it can go just far enough to where it's supposed to hit, man. Right? You know?
The spirit of Yahweh shall go be any ICBM missiles. They're going to hit the exact location they're supposed to hit. Right? No type of malfunction, none of that is going to hit where it's supposed to hit and destroy this place. Right? Did you already brought this up for night?
No, you bring out Joel 2 first.
Joel, you on the?
I mean Joel 3. Yeah, 3
first. Joel 2 goes into the destruction of Babylon. That whole chapter.
Saying working on the phones, but ain't a lot. But
same crazy.
What happened?
This is it
just keep messing up.
Yeah, cut out for a little minute. But this is not Jeremiah. It's like this is Joel 3, and I started at 1. So verse 1 says, "For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem."
You know, when it says Judah, Jerusalem is really referring to southern kingdom and northern kingdom. You know, and then when I will bring again the captivity, we're going to be delivered. You know, He's going to deliver us from this captivity. We're going to be saved. You know, because can't nobody save us but Yahweh Shah. Yahweh Shai. What he tell us Deuteronomy 28:6 that when we came over here, no man shall buy you, no man shall save you. Right. Also in Jeremiah 30, which was went into a camp, it said all your ones you love, your allies, they don't seek for you, But I continue reading.
Verse 2, it says, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down to the holy of Jehoshaphat, which is really Yahweh Shaphat, right? It says, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land.
Because like the brother said, Josaphat, Yahweh Shaphat, meaning what Yahweh judge, plead with them, judge. He's going to judge them, right, for the things that they've done, unto the children of Israel. Mainly, really. And when you go into Psalms 83, it lists our enemies, but, when the first one is Esau, man. I think it is the first one, Esau, and Yahweh Shai is going to bring destruction upon them, also amongst these other nations. Quick precept real fast, Isaiah 34:1. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken ye people, that the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation, that righteous anger of the Lord is upon Lord Yahweh is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. Hath he utterly destroyed them, hath delivered them to the slaughter. So that's the Valley of Joseph, World War III. So you're gonna gather them up, you're gonna muster them together, right? They're gonna be dropping bombs and nukes on each other. And Yahweh Shai is gonna come clean them up, man. Get them on up out of here.
Before you go out there, Zephaniah, I reread Isaiah 13 chapter and verse 4. To the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as a great people, a tumultuous noise. Up in that's right. Tumultuous, yeah. God, so it say noise of the kingdoms, say nations gathered together. The Lord Yahweh of hosts mustered the host of the battle. Yeah, oh, you got it.
Yeah, I got it. This is Zephaniah 3 and 8, straight to the point, right? It says, therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey, for my determination is to gather the nations.
So this is this quick precept is going into the Isaiah the 4th verse.
Continuing on, it says that I may assemble the kingdoms and pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy.
And indignation gonna come, in the form of those ICBM missiles, right? So let's continue on. Let's brothers add something.
Okay.
So this Isaiah 13:5, he said they come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord Yahweh, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land.
So like we just, I said just how we just been saying, man, ICBM missiles and the continental ballistic missiles, they're gonna come from afar, and they're gonna be, they're gonna hit on this place, right? What is that? Jeremiah 50. Jeremiah 50, it talks about how Russia and basically Russia and its allies are going to gather up and they're going to come against this place, man. They're going to gather up, they're going to come against this place and bring the destruction upon this place. And ultimately how Shai's going to finish them off, right?
I was just going to say that those missiles, they're just a little help, for you, how Shai and the angels, right? To turn this place into the lake of fire, right? So let's continue on to verse 6. He said, how ye, for the day of the Lord Yahweh is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty, right? And the scriptures tell you how, the day of the Lord is going to be a day of darkness, right? A day of doom, a day of gloominess, right? Because there's going to be a lot of death, right, going on, a lot of destruction, right? Removal of kingdoms upon the earth, right? And, in the center, right? Then, like I said earlier, you can read about this in Joel, the 2nd chapter, and also 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter, how I said, how he destroys a drop compared to a wave, man. How many deaths is going to be.
I got a quick precept real fast. This Isaiah 66 and verse 15. It says, hold up.
He's going to like a fire.
It says, for behold, Lord Yahweh will come with the fire and with his chariots, like a whirlwind, to rend his anger with the fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. It says, for by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. That's to the point I want to get. The saying the Lord gonna be many. Because ultimately, as you seeing, this is indignation. He's calling these nations to come up against this beast, this horror, right? Babylon, spiritually Sodom and Egypt, right? This that reigns over all the kings of the earth, right? She's gonna Yahweh Shai gonna put a spirit on Russia and these other countries to come against
China,
this place.
Iran,
You know,
the other allies as well.
they're gonna come up against this place in fierceness, right? And they're gonna be it's gonna be a like we mentioned before. It's not gonna be no war like of time before shooting and thing. No, it's gonna be a nuclear war,
Yes,
right? Favorite heat, man. Burn things getting burnt up.
God, the technology is too advanced to be going into someone's country, and y'all meet up at a land and y'all try to ambush them with guns, shit like that. Motherfuckers will send a jet and bomb you within damn 3 minutes, right? But I'm gonna just read this article real quick. You had something to say?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, on a little quick point, right? When you guys poor places like Iran and things of that nature, Afghanistan, America's quick to send troops and things like that over there. You know what I'm saying? Because those are poor countries. But when you're dealing with countries like the Russias, the China, so on and so forth, those countries they're not poor, right? They try to act like America, or like just like that video I just watched before camp, the one you sent on TikTok, right? Like, America's not the greatest country in the world, but they make it seem that way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they may spend the most in the military or whatever, but these other places like China, if I'm not mistaken, they're known as like one of the smartest countries, things like that. So of course, you know what I'm saying, these people, they're gonna, like you were saying, they're gonna send missiles, right? The technology is too advanced to be worried about, troops and things like that.
I got before you read that article, I'm gonna read this right quick because this goes into how also you understand that the reason America is up right now and so much right now because why Yahweh Shai has given them that's one of their miracles, technology. That's one of the miracles. That's he's giving them that gift to do these things, right? And that's why America's in that top seat right now, the Roman Empire, because that dragon which gave the beast that power, right? The Roman Empire come back through the Renaissance, right, and things as such, right? This place has been, his policies, ways important to all over the world, right now. And that's why these nations are going to come against. But it's one of the places why this place is going to get brought down. It's pride,
I got a quick precept.
I'm gonna read this real fast, just real quick. I mentioned before, and I finally found it. But at first, we searched it up. They weren't saying nothing about it. But basically, so America's creating a new weapon. And it's a laser beam, big laser beam type of weapon, but it shoot like nuclear weaponry, right? It says the U.S. is developing a powerful laser weapon like Helios, high energy laser with integrated optical dazzler and surveillance. A 60 to 1.2, I don't know what that KW mean. Kilowatt, what it mean? A system for Navy ships that can shoot down drones, dazzle sensors, and engage missiles with prototypes delivering high power for future integration, offering advantages like unlimited shots and low cost per kill. As a higher wattage system, 150 to 300 kilowatts, are tested for greater threats like cruise missiles, right? So, and when the elder was breaking this down, talking about this as well, that thing can shoot and basically like split a plane in half in like 5 seconds, like and it's gonna take like China and Russia, they're gonna take them years to even be able to create this. But that's this is the modern day Smiths are the scientists, and this is the Most High put the spirit on them to be able to create these things, because all these things they're using to create the fight, Yahweh Shai is going to use it to destroy them. But
they see how advanced the chariots is. They feel like they gotta create something that's just as advanced.
That's what the elders even saying though. They using these things to try to shoot at the UFOs, and we know what those UFOs are.
Chariots, like you said. That's really what like they got a space force. What you need a space force for? What do you combating in space? They know the angels coming, man. They know that day is upon them.
Revelation 12. We saw them up a short time.
I think it said that what's that scripture? I said like the habitation is among the stars. I think it said that also in the book of I think it's in the book of Obadiah too, right? Because they sending satellites and things like that up there, right? They they know.
They even try to go there.
Try,
not go to the moon.
This is Revelation 13 and 12. Just going to the point, because like you said, they exercising this power, through it being the Roman Revised Empire, right? So this is Revelation 13 and 12, right? It says, and he actually, I started 11. It says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, And he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, right? Let's talk about America, of course, with the two horns being, the 2 main parties, Democrat, Republicans, right? Verse 12, it says, and he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, which is, again, like the brother was saying, that Roman-Rise empire, right? And causes the earth and them which dwell in there to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. So these great wonders, right? That fire coming from heaven, those missiles, man, those bombs, they drop, those atomic bombs on Japan with Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right? That's the first time that had been done and hasn't been done since. But these are those things that they do, those technologies, right? Those new new missiles and things that they have now.
Fat boy, little man. I gotta say the name of those bombs every time they talk about it. That's the name of the bombs they named the Fat Boy and Little Man.
But now I'll just read the headlines real quick.
Okay.
Right, so it says Trump responds to the Iranians' death threats. Wipe them. He's saying that Trump saying that he gonna wipe them off the face of the earth. Right, so we're seeing the wars, the rumors of wars. We're seeing the threats. We're seeing everything that's ramping up to World War III. Right, and it's another one. Right. I did list on this last night, but it's another headline say Trump threatens 200% tariffs on French wine after France rejects Gaza border peace. Right, Trump, America is trying to have this border peace, trying to cease fire with Israel and Hamas and Ukraine and Russia and things of that such. But now these other nations, hey, they're going against that shit, man. Hey, fuck it, they don't even want peace. So the Lord is already putting the spirit on these world leaders and these these other nations to go against Babylon, against America. They see that Trump full of shit, right? You trying to say peace, but you're trying to take over Greenland, right? You trying to say you just bomb Venezuela, but you talking about peace, right? You bullshit.
How you know that's that pride, man? They got that big brother's pride. I can do what I want to do. You can't do nothing about it, And that's why once again, that's one of the reasons they're going to be brought down, man. They think they're untouchable. It's crazy to tell you, when a man thinks himself to be something, he is nothing, And they're nothing like to spit into the Most High, man.
So I'm going to start back up at Isaiah 13th chapter. And start up at verse 7. He said, therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. And they shall...
They bring heat, man.
And they shall be afraid. Pains and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one another. Their faces shall be as flames.
And when you gonna go into that?
Nah. I was gonna bring out that Isaiah 19:16, but he already brought it up.
Even when you go and understand that, and when you in history, when you how you just talked about, the bombs they dropped in Japan. If it's these videos YouTube on, you can watch it, but they're explaining how when these nuclear bombs drop, like people's skin was like melting off them even after the bombs. Like it was the ones who survived those bombs dropped, their skin was like falling off their bones. It's like their flesh is just falling off their bones or whatnot because that nuclear wave, that nuclear wind, that radiation is going to be cooking them, man.
Contamination, the fervent heat, right, and everything along with it, right. That's why people that do survive a nuclear missile, they end up dying months or years later due to that radiation, that contamination that's polluted from the air or the waters, right. And it even goes to that Revelation 8th chapter, right.
But do we understand this? Also, those chariots going to be, they curse upon the earth. Those chariots are going to be beaming people and cook people up as well, man.
So no one can be able to escape the judgment of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. No matter how much money you got, no matter how deep in the ground you is, no matter how much you think you hit, Most I see you at all times. Right? He know, and the angels know where you gonna be at. Right. So let's continue on to verse 9. He said, behold, the day of the Lord Yahweh cometh, cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate. He shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it.
Right?
Nah, you got it. But I was just gonna say, he gonna come as that line to destroy. Right? The first time Yahushua came as that sacrificial lamb, right, for the Israelites. But this time he coming to bring judgment and also to deliver his elect, the nation of Israel, and to destroy and to conquer. Right? So Yahushua's come back to bring judgment, right? And once again to destroy and to conquer, right? You can say what you know.
Okay, I just got a precept. You get it on precept for you. That'll back you up.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Isaiah 42:14.
This is Isaiah 42:14. It says, I have long time holding my peace. I have been still and refrained myself.
Because like the brother mentioned, first time Yahushua came, he came with the message. He came, he understood what he had to do, right? But he telling you hold his peace, because this time he coming with, I don't come to bring peace, I come with a sword,
Matthew 10 and what? Was it Matthew 10 and 34?
Yeah, you can finish that off. I don't think it's finished yet.
It says, now will I cry like a travailing woman. I will destroy it and devour at once.
So what he say? Every eye shall see it, even the ones who pierced him. So now he coming back to avenge, man. He coming back to avenge. He coming back to avenge the elect and for what they did unto him, man. He comes to destroy his place. He comes to lay his place desolate. That's why he said he destroyed the sins thereof out of it. All of them gonna be destroyed, man. And the ones that survive, those elites, things that says on those bunkers that won't survive, guess what? Yahushua gonna point them out. They there, they here, they there. Ultimately, you know what? You can understand, missiles can hit right over their bunkers and rocks can fall on them. Things that such. But at the same time, the ones who do survive, they're gonna go into captivity. Right? They're gonna go into captivity. There's gonna be a harsh and fierce. For those first 1,000 years, it's gonna be a harsh and fierce captivity. We're gonna ease up a little bit after those 1,000 years, but after those 1,000 years, Esau, they're gonna be tied up and burnt away, man. They're gonna be done away with.
This precept real quick, Matthew 24 and 34. This how you just said you had quoted Revelation 1 and 7. How even though every outside see him, you the ones that pierced him. Right? And this just goes to Matthew the 24th chapter, verse 34. It said, verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things should be fulfilled. Right? And it's talking about, obviously, right, nothing new under the sun, right? Those same spirits that pierced Yahushua, the same spirits that's back now. And when Yahushua return back, guess what? Those same ones that pierced him, the same ones Yahushua will come back to destroy. As long with, the wicked, the other nations, the 2/3 and etc.
That's why he said in John chapter 8, you don't believe me, you shall die in your sins.
They shall die in their unfaithful. Roughly paraphrasing. The precept did that. I don't think that's the same. So that's Isaiah 13, and we start up at verse 10. Right? It said, for the stars of heaven and constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine.
Because you understand, like the soot, the smoke, the ash, like, it's going
bones.
It's gonna cover everything, so it's gonna be dark, man. Like brother mentioned earlier, it's gonna be a day of darkness, man. None of those things gonna give off light. None of those things gonna shine, because all this smoke, the soot, and all that stuff is gonna be covering it up. This is gonna be this ain't gonna be like no regular war, man. This is gonna be a nuclear war. It's gonna be bombs hitting, chariots beating people up, right? All type of things, right? So it's gonna be fire burning, things that such, man. You ain't gonna be able to. These things ain't give no light, man. It's gonna be a day of darkness, but it's supposed to tell you, for the elect, you're not of the darkness. There's a light. So the elect are going to be beating up to those chariots to overcome this thing, right?
That's why I got to pray that the Lord hide us from his wrath, right? And that's why y'all can grab that scripture when he be like, hide in thy chambers. You know what I'm talking about?
I think
I can pull it up real quick. I want to, but I got a precept already.
I do too.
He said hide in thy chambers. Hide me in thy chambers, or hide in thy chambers?
Hide in thy chambers. Let's see. But those chambers talk about the chariots.
That's in Psalms. Isaiah 26. Oh yeah, I know you're talking about shut the door. Okay.
Yeah, kind. So guess you can grab that real quick, then I'll bring out this scripture. What you got?
I'm bringing out today. I was just going into like the day of darkness.
Okay. What's the Joel or
Joel 2?
Okay, Khan. It says, "Come, my people, enter into thy chambers, and shut the doors about thee. Hide thyself, is it for a little moment, till the indignation be overpassed." And as the brother mentioned, those chambers, those chariots, because we're gonna be beamed up. So and that's why they didn't even think about it. Even going back to Matthew 24, that's why the Most High said what? It should be in the days of Noah, right? Going at it, close that door. So that's why the Most High closed the door. And when chariots come, the chariots after the legs brought into the chariot, the door is going to be closed, because ain't nobody else going to enter to them but the elect. And it says, verse 21 says, "For behold, the Lord comes out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth shall also disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain." So this place is going to be destroyed, and done away with. But ultimately, the elect's gonna be beating up to those chariots, and they're gonna overcome this place.
They're gonna be the ones that got the victory over the beast. Like it speaks about it in Revelation 15 chapter.
Right. Quick point. Revelation 20, I'll say verse 7. It says, that those ones, the first resurrection, who the second death have no power. The second death ain't gonna be able to touch them. We know that second death is this nuclear fire and destruction that's gonna come upon America or Babylon, right? Especially Sodom and Egypt.
So quick precept to that, Isaiah 13 and verse 10, right? This is Matthew 24 and 29. He said, immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven. What is those stars that fall from heaven?
Missiles.
So ICBM missiles, right? Those nuclear missiles saying the powers of the heavens shall be shaken, right? He's saying, then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds. So that's a great precept from Isaiah 13:10 and from that
Isaiah 26. And even they mentioned clouds within that. Sure, those clouds are referring to, he cometh on clouds, is referring to chariots. Right?
God, the chariots have many names throughout the Bible. Right, I'm going to just finish off 31. And he says, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other.
Really bouncing directly off of that, right? This is Joel 2, and I start at 1. Right, it says, blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong. They have not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations, man. So again, this day, right? This day without, with basically World War III, all the missiles, all the bombs, so on and so forth. It's gonna be a day of darkness, like he was saying, with all the soot. Because as you continue down in Joel 2, and I'll read it, verse 6, right? It says, before their face and the people shall be much pain, all faces shall gather blackness, right? Because again, it's going into, basically all the residue from the bomb and so on and so forth, right? But back in verse 2, like how it says, it's never going to be a day like this, because what comes after all this destruction? The kingdom, right? There's not going to be a need for any of that destruction to happen again, right? But
so President got now, let's get back up. In Isaiah 13 and verse 11, he's saying, and I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity.
Who's that wicked? Malachi 1:4. Esau Edom, man.
Esau Edom, Joel 9:24. Right? And it says,
and another quick picture just came to mind. Esau Edom, what it says in Isaiah 34:5. Against Idumea. Right? Idumea is what? Greek word they say Edom. Right?
So verse 11 from the top, and I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. Right? And I'm gonna grab a quick precept. Well, can you grab just real quick Isaiah 14, verse 11? You start at verse 10.
This is Isaiah 14, verse 10. It says, all they shall speak and shall say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us?
So that's the other nations talking about who? America, right? Esau Edom, right? And these other nations, they used to call, and get, materials and, all these things from America. But now, since they got the same thing as America, they're like, shit, damn, y'all just as weak as we. So y'all done can't lose us, right? But verse 11 being the point.
Kind of says thy pomp is brought down to the grave.
Kind of, that's what I was on, right? That pomp meaning what? Their pride, right? Their pride go, and like it says, pride go up before destruction, right? But Esau is going to be humbled by Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, right? You can finish off 11 if you want, but that was the point that I wanted.
Just to finish off, it says, in the noise of thy vials, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee.
That's just going into the decaying of the system. Worms covering this place is falling, This place is falling now, but, what it says, pride go for fall, and the righteous see it. We see the fall, the righteous see the fall of this place. Esau, you don't got the pride trump Why you think Trump got that MAGA running around? You know, he trying to make America great again, but it ain't gonna never be great again, man. Meridac is broken. You know, this place is going down. This place is over with, right? But,
so Isaiah 13:12, right? It says, "I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir."
And anytime you say, you know, that's talking about chosen people, how about Shah? That's his chosen people. That's his elect. That's his beginning with the elect. That's his chosen people, man. How about Shah ain't dealing with you can't you know bring none of them scriptures that's talking about deliverance or you know restoring or restoration. You know, he said you know any of that is going into the Hebrew Israelites, man. You know, there's no deliverance for these other nations. There's no Most High's not trying to fix these other nations. None of that. He's only dealing with his people, and that's only beginning with the elect. I think he's not even dealing with 2/3 of these people right now. You know, so what makes you think he even dealing with the other nations, man?
That's the book of Acts, man. He came to bring repentance to Israel. Man.
You know, just backing up the brother, right? How this going to the Israelite man, right? But even then, right during this time, a lot of men going to be being killed, right? And that's why a lot of these women they're going to become widows, right? Like it speaks about in 2 Corinthians 15 chapter. It's not 15 chapter, it's 16 chapter, right? But you know that true man is going to be made more precious than fine gold, and that's talking about who that is, like man, right? Ultimately the elect, and that's why during these times, that's why seven women shall cleave to one man, right? Because that man is going to be precious, right? So
I got a precept real fast. It's going to let me find it real fast. No, it's going. Lamentations 4:1. It says, "How is the gold become dim? How is the most fine gold changed? The stones of the sanctuary are poured out the top of every street. So the precious sons of Zion comparable to fine gold. How are their esteemed as earthen pitchers, the work of the hands of the potter." You know, so beginning with because you gotta think when it says children, and children means Hebrew means son. You know, those sons, those men are compared with the fine gold, right? So give the elect, which are the men, they're going to be, they're going to, as Scripture said in Isaiah 13:12 again, let's go back to it. Those are the men who are going to be more precious than fine gold, even even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir, right? Have you said, it's like I'm saying it wrong, but those were dealing with the men of Yahweh Shem. And as your brother saying, that's why, in this society, there's another reason why this place is going to be destroyed, as we read in this chapter, that the scripts come upon Babylon, because everything is upside down. In this society, they try to esteem the woman as they're the prize, they're the gold. Nah, man, the gold is the men. The men of Yahweh Shem, which in that time, all men going to be restored back into that. All the righteous going to be restored back into his way, and the men going to be back men again, man. Now these men are feminine or are going out of the way, but men going to be back men and men go back into that, precious like into fine gold, man. Right? But beginning with the elect, the elect going to be those ones who,
So just picking back up in Isaiah the 13th chapter, verse 13, it says, "Therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place, in the wrath of the Lord Yahweh of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger." Right, and that's just going to the ICBM missiles.
Shaking, that's only how the place is going to shake. Those bombs hit, man. Those nuclear bombs going to hit, and things going to move. It's going to be like, hold on, like people going to be in shock. People going to be lost. Remember, it says their Lord is like a thief in the night, man. When these bombs hit, people ain't going to know what to do, right? People ain't going to know what to say. None of that. They're going to be lost for words, literally. It says they're going to be like a woman, when she travaileth, right? Like a woman when she having a baby, she sweating, going through all type of things, going through all type of pain. That's how it's gonna be in that time. These bombs gonna hit. They gonna move earth out of her place, man. Right? You gotta think. It says in the wrath of the Lord Yahweh. This is the Yahweh Shem Shah. As the brother mentioned earlier, these missiles are gonna have the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shah. They're gonna hit exactly where they're supposed to hit, man.
Right, and these ICBM missiles, they're gonna make the earth shake way more than the regular, than normal, or the most severe earthquake, right? And just like the other day, a 3.8 magnitude earthquake rattled central Illinois overnight, right? That 3.8 earthquake or that Motu earthquake has nothing compared to the ICBM missiles and what they going to do to Babylon the Great. That's they, hit. All right, so that 3.8 ain't shit. All right, so let's continue on to verse 14. And it shall be as the chase roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee everyone to his own land.
Can I go into like and I'm gonna read it to you in a T so you can really get it, understand like that chase roll like a gazelle. They're gonna be chased. You really see it spiritually. Right? I'm gonna read it to you so you can get this out right. It's Isaiah 13:14, and then T says everyone in Babylon will run about like 100 gazelle, like a sheep without a shepherd. And you how it's referred to as that lion. What's it? Come on, man. You all them hunting videos you see out in the forest, the lion chasing down the gazelle, right? It's over with, man. Yahushua is going to bring the destruction upon this place, man. This place is gone. They're going to try to run. People going to be trying to get here and there, try to flee here and there. But hey, Yahushua coming. I think he coming east to west with this thing. Because America's in the west. He coming east to west with this thing. Everybody's going to get it. You already got to think. Every eye shall see him. Ain't nobody going to be the ducking. People going to try to run from it. He says they would try to find their own people and flee to their own land. Because it's going to be class wars, things that such, civil war. It ain't going to be fit for a so-called black man to be amongst these type of people. Going to be trying to get with their own people, because things that people going to be scared. Maybe they're going to be the scriptures talk about it in multiple scriptures how it's gonna be war within with everywhere around, for lack of better words, right? He's gonna be against him, brother against mother, things as such, right? You ain't gonna want to be around the wrong people at that time. Even Jake gonna be on Esau here. You gotta think all the things, even like for instance that movie Purge. The show Purge, that's a glimpse of how it's gonna be. But think about with bombs and everything like that going on. Just like the Purge, man, killing all over, fire, people burning things, all type of things, man. Right? But
just backing up the brother, also going to the other nations as well, right? When things get real bad here in America, they're gonna be trying to flee back into their own land, right? A lot of nations. I forgot how many nations they say over here in America, but they go all try to flee back. Right back into their own lands.
Even Jake now, Jake trying to move to China, Japan. Jake trying to move everywhere. Jake trying to find where is most peace at. Cause like we all watched it earlier. We even think about we got the most school shootings over here. We got all type of things over here in America. Supposed to be that great place, but in reality, this place is wicked, man. This place is a wicked place. You have in certain countries where ain't too much going on, and Jake trying to run here and there. To get from this place, but ultimately, like I said, you can't escape your house, man. But
so pick back up at verse 15. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword.
Michael 2:10, he got it. And when you understand, man, it's for so long. The prophets, the teachers, the elders, Lord willing, that hopefully elect been telling you for so long to get up out of this place, because these other countries, anybody who tied in with this place, you gotta think. America got everybody drunk off that wine of the fornication. The people are gonna be scared to fight, but the scripture talk about how they gonna most likely put the spirit on them to fight. It said they durst fight. 2 Ezra chapter 13, that war in heaven. They're gonna fight. Right now you have a lot of people tied in and bailed this great whore. They tied and bailed this place, and when Yahushua crack the sky, they're gonna fight with this whore against. The scriptures tell you that this beast, this whore, gather up nations to fight against. What is it? Revelation 17. They're gathering to fight against. Yahushua, man. That's what they're gonna do. So everyone who's tied in with them, everyone who's with them, and gonna be destroyed. But this precept right here is to the 2/3 right here, man. For you ones who are drunk out there fornication. Me and the brother that sit down the other day, it was titled, Those Who Have Surely Drunk. It was going to Jeremiah 49:12. Because we weren't supposed to drink in that fornication, Babylon. But you drunken in it, and you've been drunk by it, and you have not tried to sober yourself up in any type of way, which is knowledge and understanding. So if you tie yourself in with it, as the scripture said, you can.
It's Micah 2:10. It says, Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sword of destruction.
Because Most High been saying throughout this chapter, we ain't finished yet, but through the majority of this chapter, he tell you this place is going to be destroyed for the iniquity and the wickedness, the pride that this place brings. So the Most High going to destroy all this place for that. You know, also another precept that 2 Peter 3. You know, seeing how this place is going to be destroyed, what type of godly lives did you live? Merely paraphrasing, right? You seeing how this place is going to go down? Get out of this place, man. Depart from it spiritually. We ain't saying pack your stuff up and go over there, here and there. No, depart from this place spiritually, man. You know the brothers got something.
So Isaiah 13:16 said their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes.
Self-explanatory, you see it. And this next part is why a lot of people hate the elders as well too.
Kind of said their houses shall be spoiled and their wives ravished.
And we ain't gonna say too much about that because you know how YouTube get, but everything they done is gonna be done right back into them. We're just gonna put it like that. All that iniquity, all that, you know, how Esau get down, you know, taking all things that don't belong to him is gonna be done right back into them, right?
Verse 17, behold, I restored the Medes, the Medes, you're talking about Medes. So from the top, verse 17 said, behold, I restored the Medes against them.
And right here, this Medes is referring to is Russia.
So it said against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, that shall not delight in it.
So when you go to Revelation 17, the breakdown of it goes to that beast that got that scarlet on it, right? That scarlet colored purple. And that's the costliness of it. And when you go to Revelation 18, it breaks down how that costliness is basically like the money, the riches that America brings amongst these to these other nations to make them look past the immortality or the wickedness that has going on. But in this day, it ain't gonna matter. People not gonna, you know, when Russia drop those bombs, those other Russia's allies come against this place, they not caring about the money or the tax port. They ain't care about none of that, right? The trade port, they ain't care about none of that, right? They from that when they drop those bombs, it's on and popping. And that's what it's gonna be, you know.
Quick precept. This is Ezekiel 7:19, right? It says they shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord. They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity, man. So again, all that money, you know, all the things they got saved up and savings accounts, bank accounts, all that, it ain't gonna save them in the day of the Lord, man. It's not gonna benefit them in no way, you know. You can't pay off the Lord, basically.
I got another quick precept as well too. Proverbs 11:4. It says, "Riches profits nothing in their wrath, but the righteous delivered from the death." Right, so those riches profit nothing, man. You know that money and all that ain't gonna mean nothing, man. You know, but they used to, I remember when I was younger, they used to always say, "Man, spend that money, man. You die, you can't take it with you. You can't. That money ain't gonna buy your way into heaven, man. You know, you can't do nothing with that money. That just shows you right there, that money is worthless. You building all that wealth up, you know, things that such, and then y'all try to come destroy this place. Guess what? That money destroy right along with it. The riches destroy right along with it. Russia dropped those bombs on this place. You ain't gonna be able to go to Russia and say you got X amount of dollars. You wanna move on? Nah, man. It ain't none of that. You know.
So the Isaiah 13:18 say that boughs also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children.
Going into what we were talking about, you know, Russia gonna come. It's gonna be destruction. It's gonna be a great wrath, man. You know, they killing. They ain't sparing nothing because ultimately Ezekiel 38 tell you, the Most High gonna put His spirit. They gather. Matter of fact, I go stay very fast. How the Most High gonna put His spirit to gather them up to come against this place, right? This is Ezekiel 38 verse 15 says, "And thou shalt come from thy place out of the north parts." It's talking about Russia, you know. Also, it says that in Jeremiah 50 as well. And north parts, thou and many people with thee, all of them riding upon horses, and a great company and a mighty army, right? And I got in my notes who those people will come with. Russia, right? Russia gonna have China, Iran, NATO, and the EU nations, Turkey, and some other African nations, man. All these people gonna turn on the whore. They're gonna get tired of carrying that whore, right? So they're gonna turn on this place, and they're gonna come, and they ain't sparing nothing, right? They're not sparing nothing, man, right? And the Most High gonna put His spirit on them to come over here and bring the destruction, right? So,
you got something? from grandson.
Yeah, I was just finna prove your point by how you said like even America's allies gonna come against them in that day, man. Because like I say, they're gonna be tired. They're gonna be tired of carrying that great whore. I know it's in the Book of Revelation. I think it's chapter 16.
Yeah, like cedar farm. I think I know precept you're talking about.
I was trying to find a preset also just back stuff up in
Damn, I know.
I might help you look for hold on. I'll find this preset in Jeremiah real fast.
So 16. Maybe 17.
That really is 17 because
Nah,
it say how they give one power to the beast, but ultimately.
Yeah, it's 17.
Wait, come on, read this real fast. It's back me up. This is Jeremiah
Verse 1, verse 15.
50 and 3, right? It says, "For out of the north there come up a nation against her." It's talking about Russia. That was you read Ezekiel 38, which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. They shall remove, and they shall depart, both man and beast. Right? Nation out of the north is talking about Russia, man. They're going to come. They're going to bring all those other nations, their allies with them. They're going to come bring destruction upon this place. But you got
This is Revelation 17 and 16, right? It says, "In the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire," man. So again, like you were saying, the quote unquote allies that they have right now, even they're gonna come against them because they're gonna be tired of America and her iniquities, man.
But look how, matter of fact, read verse 17, and this is just showing you a clear example to verse 17 is what Trump trying to do to Greenland right now. He trying to go over there and just take over, take the resources. Even Venezuela, he just going to take their resources, things as such, man. America don't have no regard because America's in that top seat. All these people have given their power into this beast, man. This beast is reigneth over. Actually, you can read down to verse 18 for real.
Greedy.
Verse 17 says, "For the Most High have put in their hearts to fulfill His will,
His will, right?
and to agree, and to give their kingdom unto the beast." Oh, it's like and give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled.
So there's prophecy thing that says it got to be fulfilled, and then once these things are fulfilled, that's why only reason Babylon, America is in that place where it's at now is because the Most High's will. The Scripture's showing you that. So they're gonna have the power to go do out all these wicked abominations and this iniquity, right? But at the same time, we read in verse 16 how these people gonna turn on her. But until then, Yahweh Shai set America up to fulfill that left hand side, right? Because this place has the power over these other nations, so they can go out and be a bully, right? Because you got to think, how many from them which are your sword, which are your hand, Yahweh shall raise them up, right? Which verse 18 tells you that.
Verse 18 it says, "And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth."
And verse 18 tell you that great city is what? Babylon. I think you was mentioning this other day. We was saying now, that city, your citizenship, you're a citizen of the city.
That great city.
So, America's like a United States, just a big city.
Yeah, big city. You read 15?
Verse 15?
Yeah.
It's Revelation 17 and 16.
Yeah, 16. I think 15, 16.
Revelation 17 and 16, it says, "In the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire."
That's a great, precept going into Isaiah 13 and 19 because this the desolation of Babylon, right? Desolation of America. So this Isaiah 13 and 19 saying Babylon in Babylon the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees, excellency shall be as when the Heavenly Father overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. What did the Heavenly Father do with Sodom and Gomorrah? Destroy it with fire. Right, same thing going to do with America.
No, I was saying
I was about to say, how he calls the atoms in the space to come together to rain fire and brimstone in this place. He put that spirit on the scientists now to create these wasters. I think it's Isaiah 50 and 21. I'm mistaken. Created the waster. You know what I'm talking about? He put the spirit on these scientists to create these things now. Because he caused atoms to come together to rain that fire and brimstone. Now he put the spirit on these scientists, these modern day blacksmiths, to create these bombs, these nuclear weapons, to put these matters and things together to create these bombs that will go blow up a whole damn world. You know?
You want it?
Yeah.
This is Isaiah 54.
The 54 slide.
And
16.
16. It says, "Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire."
So that modern day, back then you had the smith to create the weapons, the sword, things that stuff. Even today, the blacksmiths used to be one who like create the guns and whatnot. But today, the modern day smith is what? The scientists, right?
It says, "And that bringeth forth an instrument for his work,
Mm-hmm.
and I have created the waster to destroy."
That waster is those nuclear missiles, those bombs, the nuclear bombs. They say we just read about a weapon that they creating that can split a plane in 5 seconds, man. Shoot down drones and all type of things. This thing is shooting nuclear powered weaponry, man. Right? But,
So Isaiah 13 and 20, it says, "It shall never be inhabited,
mm-hmm.
neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation.
Mm-hmm.
Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there."
And you see how, the Ray got the store around the corner thing. Nah, man, ain't gonna be none of that no more, man. It ain't gonna be none of that no more. This place is gonna be inhabited. What the scriptures say, Isaiah 34, the smoke shall go on forever and ever. Right? The smoke shall go on forever and ever. Right? Meaning what? This place is gonna be desolate. It ain't just like you're gonna just see smoke burning like you used in the movie. This place is gonna be, ain't nothing gonna be here. We'll continue. Ain't nothing gonna be here. The scripture gonna tell you.
Scripture gonna tell you in verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so it say, "Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall these shepherds make their fold there."
Mm-hmm.
Verse 21, "But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there."
I got a precept.
Satyrs
I wasn't
shall
looking at it.
dance there. But kind of just going to you how this place is going to be inhabitable, right? And the only thing that's going to be here is what those wild animals, right? Those beasts, right? Those birds, right? Those desert animals and things of that sense.
Buzzards,
Ain't nothing going to be here.
everything like that. I got a good precept for you too as well. It's Revelation 18 and verse 2. It says, "And he cried mightily with the strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen. It's fallen." Talking about America, which we read in Isaiah 13. It says, "And it's become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird," the buzzard, the desert owl, all those type of things, man. Those unclean beasts, man. That's the only thing that's gonna dwell here, unclean spirits, right?
And we'll finish it off with verse 22. He's saying, "And the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant palaces. And her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged." So this is what the end of America, right? The end of Babylon, right? After the ICBM missiles hit America, and Yahweh and the angels finish it off, guess what's going to happen? It's going to be the end of his story, right? The end of the book, right? And there will be no more America. It's going to be desolate. And y'all brothers can bring out your points.
I got a quick precept to that, just to close it out. What is that? Oh yeah, right. This Isaiah 14, verse 20. Right, I started verse 20. It says, "Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and thy people. The seed of evildoers should not be renowned." Right, meaning what? They're not going to be these other nations. They're going to be, we're going to let them know. We're going to let them remember who they are when they go back to their lands and whatnot. Esau's going to be done away with. They're not going to be renounced ever again. They're going to be done away with. They're going to be destroyed. Their land and them. Right, but America's going to be to us like a memorial in a sense, because we're going to be like, damn. That's the iniquity we lived in. We was tripping, right? Verse 21 says, "Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the faces of the world with cities. For I'll rise up against them, says the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and the remnant and son and nephew, says the Lord Yahweh." Right? It says, I will also make it a possession for the bitter and pools of water, and I will sweep it with the besom of destruction, said the Lord Yahweh of hosts, man. So this place is done. This place is done and over with, man. And that's what this chapter. That's what Isaiah seen in the chapter: destruction to come upon Babylon was talking about not the ancient Babylon, talking about Babylon, which is America today, which Sodom and Egypt, right? This place is going down and destroyed, right? Which this is a future prophecy that's, is at hand. Her days are not prolonged, man. Her time is near, and they know they're running out of time.
Right, this place is destroyed. All the other kingdoms, will be destroyed as well. And guess what kingdom will be established, right? Our kingdom, right? The Israelite kingdom, right? The kingdom of heaven, right? And brothers ain't got nothing. I'll finish out with this. Obadiah 1:8. Shall I not in that day, said the Lord Yahweh, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau, and thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed to the end that everyone at the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. Verse 10, the point said, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. So Esau is going to be cut off forever. America, aka Babylon, is going to be cut off forever, right? And we'll never have to worry about them ever again.
And we understand it. Teaming, those Germans, they're the smartest of Esau, they're all their wisdom. Esau, and these so-called American Edomites, they're smart as well, but the Germans are the smartest of them, and they ain't gonna be able to even come together to create a plan to escape what's coming for them. They're done, and they're cooked. They're gonna be, shame's gonna cover them once again. Not gonna be renowned.
Yeah, so
I was gonna read that Malachi 1.
Yeah, you should close out with that kind.
This is Malachi 1, and I really just started 1. Right, it says, the burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, where hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places.
When they came back out of those 1,000 years, after they was bound for those 1,000 years, they came back through the Renaissance, which we kind of went a little bit earlier. They came back. Their enterprise where they established their place at. Coming out of that bottomless pit, coming out of Europe, right?
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever. So, like the brothers were saying, man. You want to read this verse?
Not verse 4 and 1. We close out at Malachi 4 and 1.
Yeah, I had that too. That's really what I was going to read until you read that Obadiah. But again, like the brother was saying, man, this Esau has no hope. You know what I'm saying? Their heritage, their culture, their people, whatever you want to call it, that's over and done with, man. Soon to be. But this is Malachi 4 and 1. It says, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, all that do wickedly, shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch.
So that's plain to it. They done. We just read you Isaiah 13 how the destruction and nuclear missile, all things is gonna hit, and this place is gonna burn up, and Esau's never gonna be nothing of Esau gonna be left, neither root nor branch, man. They're done. They're over it. They had their time, and their time's over with now, man.
And with that being said, Lord, this was an edifying lesson, an edifying sit down. And before we close, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash.
Double honor to the elder apostles, the elder bishops, the great millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect, beginning with 144,000. Shalom.
Shalom.